The moment of decision. Every transformation begins in a single moment when you decide you've had enough of your own excuses. Change doesn't need a lifetime. It needs a few minutes of raw truth. That moment isn't loud. It doesn't come with an announcement. No one claps. No one notices. It happens in silence. When you're alone with yourself, staring at the person you've been pretending to be, it's in that moment you feel the weight of your own comfort, the lies you've been feeding yourself just to make the pain go away. You say you want to be great, but greatness doesn't come when it's easy. It comes when you finally get sick of your own patterns, when you finally say enough. That's the moment everything changes. Not tomorrow, not next week, right there, in that single minute of brutal honesty. The truth is, you already know what needs to be done. You just don't want to face it, because facing it means taking responsibility for every second you wasted. It means admitting that you've been hiding behind excuses, waiting for life to hand you something you haven't earned. But the moment you stop running from that truth, that's when power shows up. That's when you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the cause of your own change. It doesn't take a whole life to shift direction. It takes one decision made in absolute clarity, a decision to stop playing small. That decision doesn't come from motivation. It doesn't come from hype. It comes from pain, from the sting of realizing you've been capable of more all along. Pain is the birthplace of strength. It's what pushes you to make that call, to take that first step, to stop caring how hard it gets. You don't transform by talking about it. You transform by deciding that every excuse is now unacceptable. Those few minutes where you choose to face your reflection without filters, those are the most powerful minutes of your life. Most people never make it there. They dance around the truth their whole lives, waiting for a better time to start. They think change is a mountain they need to climb someday. But it's not a mountain, it's a switch. A switch that flips when you've had enough. It happens fast, but it requires full honesty. You have to strip away the comfort, the laziness, the false stories you've been building just to protect your ego. That's what makes the moment real. Because when you strip everything away, what's left is raw truth. And raw truth doesn't lie. Once you decide, the noise fades. The world doesn't get easier, but you stop negotiating with weakness. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop explaining why you can't. That's the power of a single decision. It silences the chaos and makes your mission clear. You start moving differently. You start thinking differently. You start seeing that your entire life was waiting for you to wake up. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to commit to the next step with everything you've got. In those few minutes of decision, time slows down. You see the difference between who you are and who you could be. For the first time, you realize they're not miles apart. They're minutes apart. That distance can be crossed with courage, with truth, with the willingness to finally act. You realize that the life you've been dreaming about isn't waiting for luck or talent. It's waiting for you to decide that you're done living below your potential. That decision is the spark that ignites everything else. It's the foundation of every comeback, every breakthrough, every success story you've ever admired. The moment of decision is not about what you feel. It's about what you choose. It's not emotional. It's intentional. Feelings come and go, but commitment stays. You don't wait until you feel ready, because you'll never feel ready. You act first, and readiness follows. You take the pain, the fear, the doubt, and you move anyway. That's what separates the ones who rise from the ones who remain. Because at the end of it all, it's not the years of effort that define you. It's the minutes that changed you. And those minutes always start with one decision, one raw, unfiltered moment where you stop lying to yourself and start building the life you were meant to live. A brick of pain is the doorway. The seconds you want to quit are the seconds that shape your future. What you do in pain defines who you become. Everyone wants to be strong until strength is the only option left. Pain is the filter. It separates those who talk about change from those who actually live it. You can read all the books, listen to all the speeches, watch all the motivational videos, but none of that matters until you meet pain face to face. Pain is the truth teller. It shows you exactly what you're made of. No pretending, no masks, no comfort. It strips you down to your core and forces you to see whether your words mean anything when it hurts to move forward. Most people run from pain. They try to avoid it, numb it, or hide behind excuses to escape it. But the ones who grow, the ones who evolve, they walk straight through it. They know that pain isn't punishment, it's a teacher. It's a test designed to see how much you're willing to suffer for what you say you want. When you're on that edge, when everything inside you screams to stop, that's where the real version of you starts to form. Because that moment isn't about comfort. It's about conviction. It's about proving to yourself that your purpose is stronger than your pain. You'll never discover who you truly are while everything's easy. Comfort never made anyone unbreakable. It's the struggle, the grind, the sleepless nights, the failures, the rejections. Those are the things that carve your character. Every scar is a reminder that you didn't run, that you didn't fold. Pain is the price of becoming someone you can respect. The world respects results, but you can't earn those results without first embracing the struggle that comes with them. The ones who conquer their pain don't have superpowers. They've just learned how to suffer better. When that voice in your head tells you to stop, that's the crossroads. Most quit right there because they believe the lie that pain means it's over. But that's where life actually begins. That's where growth happens. The seconds when you want to give up are the most powerful seconds you'll ever live through, because that's the moment you get to choose who you're going to be. You either fold like everyone else or you rise into someone new. Pain is the doorway to your potential, but you have to walk through it willingly. Every time you face pain, you're given a choice to back down or break through. The body can take more than you think, and the mind can go further than you believe, but it's not about how strong you are when things are good. It's about how much heart you have when things fall apart. Pain humbles you. It exposes your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurities, but it also gives you the chance to rebuild them into strength. It's in those moments of struggle that your identity starts to harden, where the softness burns away and all that's left is resolve. Pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to transform you. It's there to burn away the parts of you that no longer belong, the laziness, the doubt, the hesitation. Every rep that hurts, every mile that feels impossible, every rejection that cuts deep, they're all chiseling away the old version of you. Each moment of pain is progress, even if it doesn't feel like it. Because when it hurts, that's when you're alive. That's when you're changing. That's when you're becoming something greater than you were yesterday. You can't fake pain. You can't shortcut your way around it. You can't buy strength. You have to earn it. And the currency is suffering. The people who live with purpose aren't fearless. They've just learned how to keep moving through fear, through exhaustion, through pain. They've accepted that growth and suffering are the same road, and the only difference between the two is perspective. When you see pain as an enemy, it owns you. But when you see it as a doorway, you start walking through it again and again until it no longer controls you. Pain demands respect because it doesn't lie. It tells you the truth about where you are and what you're willing to endure. Most will never make it through that doorway because they're too busy searching for comfort. But the few who do, they find freedom. Because once you've walked through pain and survived it, nothing else scares you. You stop fearing failure, judgment, and limits. Pain becomes your ally, your training ground, your proof that you're still alive, still fighting, still growing. Discipline over emotion. Your feelings will lie to you. But discipline, the kind that ignites in a few minutes of commitment, will always lead you forward. Feelings change with the weather, with your mood, with the noise around you. One day you feel unstoppable, the next you can barely move. If you live by how you feel, you'll never build anything real. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the finishers. It's not about being motivated. It's about showing up when everything inside you says not to. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. Your emotions want comfort. They want rest. They want easy. They want safe. But discipline wants growth. And growth never lives in comfort. Every time you follow emotion, you step backward. Every time you choose discipline, you move closer to who you said you'd become. The mind loves to play tricks. It whispers that you've done enough, that you've earned a break, that tomorrow will be a better day to start. Discipline doesn't listen. Discipline gets up, laces the shoes, and goes again. Because discipline knows that the only way out is through repetition, through consistency, through the grind that no one applauds. The people who win in life don't feel like doing it most of the time. They just do it anyway. That's what discipline is. It's not passion. It's not excitement. It's not adrenaline. It's a promise you made to yourself that doesn't expire when the mood fades. Discipline doesn't need inspiration. It needs execution. Those few minutes of commitment, when you choose to act instead of think, are the moments that build momentum. And once momentum takes hold, emotion has no power left. You can't build strength from a place of comfort. You build it by doing what's uncomfortable over and over until it becomes your new standard. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. It doesn't care about the weather, the pain, the doubt, or the noise. It just asks you to move forward one more time. The ones who depend on emotion wait for the perfect conditions. The ones who depend on discipline create them. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask what needs to get done, and then they do it. Your mind is a battlefield. Emotion is the enemy that disguises itself as comfort. It convinces you that skipping one day won't matter, that rest is deserved when you haven't earned it, that hard work can wait. But discipline doesn't negotiate. It's the soldier that shows up no matter what. It's the voice that says, do it anyway. And when you obey that voice enough times, your emotions start to follow your actions instead of controlling them. You stop waiting to feel ready. You become ready through doing. The truth is, the best things you'll ever achieve won't feel good while you're chasing them. Discipline hurts in the moment, but it builds pride that lasts long after the pain fades. Emotion gives you pleasure now and regret later. Discipline gives you struggle now and strength forever. Every time you choose discipline, you're rewiring your identity. You're telling yourself, I can rely on me. That's how self-respect is built. Not through words, but through repetition. There will be mornings when you wake up exhausted, nights when you're done, moments when you question everything. That's when emotion screams the loudest, begging you to stop. But those are the moments discipline was made for. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. It cares about your mission. It doesn't care how you feel today. It only cares about the standard you set yesterday and whether you're willing to live up to it now. You don't rise by emotion. You rise by execution. You build a legacy through routine, through structure, through the daily decision to show up when no one's watching. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-love because it demands more from you than your comfort ever will. It holds you accountable when your emotions try to pull you off course. It teaches you that consistency beats intensity, that progress is made in quiet moments of obedience, not loud bursts of motivation. And when the world starts to shake, when everything feels uncertain, discipline keeps you grounded. It keeps you moving, focused, relentless, unbreakable. The power of now. Stop waiting for the right time. Those few minutes you waste waiting could be the same minutes that rebuild your life. There's no perfect moment coming, no magical alignment waiting to bless you with clarity or comfort. The right time is the moment you decide to move. Every second you hesitate, every thought you overanalyze, every excuse you tell yourself, it's all time stolen from your future. People spend their whole lives waiting for conditions to be perfect, not realizing that life is happening right now, slipping away minute by minute while they plan instead of act. The ones who win aren't the ones who wait. They're the ones who start before they feel ready. You can't build momentum in pause. You can't find direction standing still. The universe doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards movement. Those few minutes you keep postponing action are the same minutes that could have changed your entire story. Every great transformation begins with a single step taken in uncertainty. You don't need to know how it ends. You just need to start. Because the longer you wait, the heavier that decision becomes. Time doesn't stop for you to think. It moves, and it takes your potential with it if you don't move too. People love to tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And before they know it, they've built a life around waiting. Waiting to feel confident. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting for motivation to magically appear. But readiness is a myth. You don't get ready first. You act first, and readiness grows through action. The difference between those who build and those who break is simple. One took action in the now, the other waited for the perfect later. The power of now is about urgency, not panic. It's about realizing that every second counts. Those few minutes of hesitation could be the reason your dream dies before it even starts. The voice in your head will always try to convince you that you have time, but you don't. Time is the most ruthless teacher. It never gives refunds. Every minute you waste doubting yourself is a minute you could have been building something that matters. The hardest part is not the work itself, it's the decision to begin. Once you start, momentum takes over. The first push is heavy, but once it moves, everything follows. Stop waiting for courage, because courage is born in action. You'll never feel fearless before you begin. Fear fades when you face it, not when you think about it. The now is where fear dies. The now is where progress lives. Every minute you choose to act, you're taking power away from procrastination. You're telling yourself that your life is worth building now, not later. Waiting gives power to doubt. Action gives power to discipline. That's the trade-off. Every delay strengthens hesitation, and every move weakens it. You might think you're waiting for the right moment, but what you're really waiting for is permission. Permission from your own mind to move forward. But no one's coming to grant it. The truth is, no one cares how long you've been planning. No one's keeping score of your intentions. What matters is what you do when the clock is ticking. You can spend years wishing for better, or you can spend a few minutes doing better, and that's what changes everything. The power of now is brutal because it exposes your excuses. It shows you that the only thing standing between you and progress is hesitation. When you realize that the next 5 minutes could shift your entire life, the weight of time hits you differently. You stop waiting for signs. You stop waiting for motivation. You start realizing that the only thing that separates you from the person you want to become is the action you take in this moment. You don't get another one just like it. You don't get to rewind. You either use the now or you lose it. Every dream that ever became reality started in the now. Every champion, every comeback, every breakthrough was built by someone who stopped waiting. They weren't ready, but they started anyway. They understood that time doesn't slow down for hesitation. They moved through fear, through doubt, through uncertainty, because they knew that one decision made in the now is more powerful than 1,000 plans made for someday. The clock is always running. Every second is a chance. Every minute a window, and every hesitation a loss you can never get back. Every minute counts. The difference between average and unstoppable isn't years, it's minutes. The moment you choose to push instead of pause, decide everything. People love to believe success comes from big leaps, massive breakthroughs, or luck falling from the sky. But it's not the giant moments that define you. It's the small ones you think don't matter. It's the extra minute you spend working when your mind is screaming to quit. The few seconds you resist distraction. The short window where you choose effort over ease. Those tiny slices of time stack up. They build habits. They shape identity. Every minute is a brick, and how you lay those bricks determines whether you build a fortress or a pile of excuses. Most people waste their minutes because they think they'll get them back. They scroll through life convinced there's more time ahead to fix what they've ignored. But time doesn't give refunds. Every minute that passes is a piece of your life you'll never touch again. And what you do with those pieces determines the life you build. The unstoppable ones. The ones who rise beyond limits don't have more hours in their day. They just use theirs differently. They understand that the smallest choices made consistently create the biggest separation. Every minute counts because the mind is always negotiating. Every minute you hesitate, the weaker voice inside you grows louder, whispering that it's okay to take it easy, to stop early, to coast. But the strong ones shut that voice down fast. They know that if they let 1 minute slide, the next one will follow. Discipline is built in the space of a single minute, the space between giving in and going again. That's where character is forged. It's not in the comfort of success, but in the discomfort of consistency. You don't need more time, you need more intensity with the time you already have. The difference between someone who achieves and someone who almost does isn't measured in hours. It's measured in focus. One person treats every minute like it matters. The other acts like it's disposable. The unstoppable understand that time is the most valuable currency on earth. You can lose money, friends, opportunities, but when you waste time, it's gone forever. That's why they protect it like their life depends on it, because it does. The truth is, you decide your future in the smallest stretches of time. Every minute you choose effort when comfort calls, you separate yourself from the crowd. Every minute you choose focus instead of distraction, you build momentum. Every minute you stay committed when everyone else is done, you pull ahead. You may not see it today, but those decisions compound. They create a gap so wide that by the time the rest realize it, you're already too far ahead to catch. That's how champions are made, not through grand gestures, but through relentless use of time. There are people who talk about what they'll do someday and people who use their minutes to do it now. The difference is invisible at first. A few minutes of extra effort, a few moments of discipline, but over time, it becomes undeniable. The minutes turn into hours, the hours into days, the days into results. That's how average becomes unstoppable. It's not about talent, luck, or opportunity. It's about how you treat time when no one's watching. Every minute you waste doubting yourself could have been used building yourself. Every minute you spend complaining could have been spent improving. Every minute of hesitation steals a piece of momentum. And momentum is what keeps you alive when things get hard. You don't rise because of one huge moment, you rise because you refuse to waste the small ones. Each minute becomes a weapon, a piece of armor, a proof of your commitment. You'll never get to where you want to be by doing what everyone else does with their time. Most people waste minutes chasing distractions, seeking comfort, or waiting for motivation to strike. But motivation is unreliable. Time isn't. The clock never stops moving. Whether you act or not, it keeps ticking. The question is whether those minutes are building you or burying you. When you start to see every minute as an opportunity instead of an inconvenience, your life shifts. You begin to realize that greatness isn't about having more. It's about doing more with less. It's about treating every second like it matters, because it does.